All right, so we're diving into an NBA game that got kind of crazy.
Yeah, this one definitely went off the rails a little bit.
Pistons and the Timberwolves, and we're going to unpack exactly what happened here.
Sounds good. To set the scene a little bit, this was not just any old regular season game.
Right.
These two teams, the Pistons and the Timberwolves, they were tied in the standings,
Oh, wow.
each with 42 wins and 32 losses
Yeah.
as we got toward the end of the season.
So this is like crunch time.
Yeah, every game matters, huge playoff implications.
Absolutely.
The Pistons were sitting at the 5 seed in the East, and the Timberwolves were at 7 in the West.
Okay.
So really important for both of them to get every win they could
Yeah.
down the stretch here.
So what happened? Like, what was the initial incident?
Well, it seemed to start with a pretty hard foul by Pistons defender Ron Holland
Okay.
on Timberwolves forward Naz Reid.
All right.
And it was a physical play, but Reid's reaction, you could tell immediately he didn't think it was a clean play.
Yeah. Oh, so he like took offense to it.
Oh, yeah. He definitely took offense.
Right.
And he let Holland know about it.
All right.
And then Dante DiVincenzo, Timberwolves guard, kind of stepped in
Right.
to
Right.
try and, I think, de-escalate the situation.
Sure.
But that's when Holland shoved DiVincenzo.
Oh.
And that's when things really blew up.
So it went from like a hard foul to like now it's personal.
Exactly. It went from like basketball stuff to like,
Yeah.
something else.
All right. So then, so that shove happens. What happens next?
Well, it was described as a full-on brawl.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just like a little shoving match. It was
Multiple guys are going at it.
both teams were involved.
Wow.
Even some coaches got involved.
Oh my God.
So it was a big mess.
And it's interesting, like, I think I saw somewhere that they said the NBA, like, reviewed the footage to see if they needed to, like, hand down any further, like, punishments or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, what happened, like, immediately, how many guys got tossed?
So the refs right there in the moment ejected 7 people total.
7? That's a lot.
Yeah, 2 from the Timberwolves. So DiVincenzo, obviously the guy got shoved, and then also Naz Reid.
Okay.
The Pistons lost 3 players.
Okay.
Holland, who was at the center of it all,
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart and Marcus Sasser.
Okay.
And then on top of that, even the coaching staffs weren't immune.
Really?
Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff got ejected, and Timberwolves assistant coach Pablo Prigioni also got tossed.
Wow. I mean, that's, like, pretty significant. Like, a head coach getting ejected is not something you see every day.
No, you don't see that very often. And it just speaks to how chaotic the whole scene was.
Yeah.
And, when you think about it from the perspective of both these teams,
Right.
every game matters so much at this point in the season.
Exactly.
And to lose that many players and to lose your head coach,
Yeah.
that could really throw a wrench in things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the Pistons have got the Thunder coming up. They got 2 games against the Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Knicks, and those are like all teams that they're, jostling for playoff position with.
Exactly. And the Timberwolves have it tough, too. They got the Nuggets on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play the Bucks again.
Oh, right.
And the 76ers.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So,
That could really mess up.
yeah, those are all crucial games
Yeah.
for playoff seeding.
Oh, absolutely. And I know we talked about the guys who got tossed out, but, like, they're probably going to get suspended too, right?
Almost certainly, yeah.
So that's going to be even more guys they're missing for these crucial games.
Yeah, it's one thing to get ejected from the game, but then the league usually comes down with suspensions.
Right.
And so they could be missing these key players for multiple games at a time when every game is so important.
Oh, absolutely. It could determine whether or not they even make the playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah, it could have a huge ripple effect.
So if we kind of zoom out and look at the big picture here, what does this incident tell us?
Well, I think it shows just how intense things get
Yeah.
in the NBA, especially as you get to the end of the season.
Right.
Every game has so much weight attached to it.
Yeah,
And, sometimes those emotions boil over
Yeah.
and things get out of hand.
for sure. And, it's a shame that it happened, but it also kind of makes you think, like, what's the impact going to be?
Absolutely.
Moving ahead.
It's a huge question mark for both teams.
Totally. And I guess that's what we want to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
What do you think the impact of this brawl is going to be on the Pistons and Timberwolves' remaining schedule and their chances of making the playoffs?
Yeah, it's a tough one to say, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for diving deep with us today.
Of course. Happy to be here.
It was great having you.
Yeah.
And, we'll see what happens with these two teams as we head towards the playoffs.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
All right, we'll see you next time.